What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 63. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. Real quick before we get into the video, if you didn't mind hitting a like on this here video, possibly if you're new here, welcome. Could you subscribe to the channel? That would be fantastic. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support so far with this channel throughout the, has it been 2 years? I don't even know. Year and a half, 2 years? It's been a while. Anyway, I thought I saw I have 175 uploads. Now, mind you, some of those are racing, but most of those are these type of videos. So thank you for all of you that stick around. You know, I'm surprised my subscriber count after a couple videos, it just doesn't drop. You know, like, why is this guy still talking? Anyway, here's one of the topics that I reached out and I said, hey, you guys got any ideas? What would you like to hear about? And I thought I do have an opinion on this. And first and foremost, it's an opinion. Until proven otherwise, everything I say on here could be construed as an opinion. Some of it's fact, but it's pretty much opinion. So, you know, just take it for what it's worth. Anyway, chassis fatigue. Is this a real thing? And should you be concerned about it? Okay, well, first and foremost, what is chassis fatigue? That is flexed out. That there is a belief that if you run a chassis for too long, that the steel, whether it be, I don't even know if they're made out of chromoly anymore. It's probably mild steel, if I had to guess. At one point in time, I thought it was chromoly, and maybe some still use chromoly. You know, different carbon makeup of the metal, different flex rates and such. Anyway, that would be that whatever G-force is, whatever rough terrain, whatever load you're putting on the chassis to make the chassis undulate, move. When you see the pictures of people picking up their left front type of thing, that is chassis flex. And what the concept is that you can flex a chassis out to where it does not perform as well as it once was. Now, is this true? Yes. I believe it to be true. Now, to what degree is probably the grayer area that you're gonna dance in. Now, for top teams, you know, people who are running your money races, top teams that are going to all the state races, that are running for points, that are, you know, obviously sponsored by chassis companies, that type of scenario. Are they getting new chassis, you know, every race, every other race? You know, once or twice during a season. This is a very real thing, and maybe there is a little something to it, but for your average Saturday night racer, would I be concerned about chassis fatigue? No, I would not. What you may want to consider isn't so much flexing out your chassis, but your components wearing out. Now, I won't say I'm good nor bad at replacing components, but I also run a lot of horsepower on my chassis. We flex a chassis a lot worse than, say, a stocker would. That's arguable, but I would say the amount of horsepower, what we're driving into the corner with, how hard we're using the brakes, how, you know, we're running the body work, we're forcing the chassis into the ground. We're also applying mechanical force in a lot of horsepower to make the thing break free and get up out of the corner even faster. So I didn't find any, you know, chassis flex to be an issue. What the components are is rear axle, you know, how often that rear axle has been flexed up and down, you know, that's again up for debate, but most definitely all your bearings. If you're looking at, you know, hey, this thing isn't as fast as it once was, I don't think it's probably flexed out. I don't believe it's the chassis that's flexed out, but your bearings. I would first go there. Replace all your bearings. Then rescale. Then rerun it. I just lost my balance there. You see that? I was just being all serious and I lost my balance. Then rescale it. Rerun it. You know, try that. See if that fixes your issue. If not, something like what I did this year. I replaced my spindles on my scythe. Now, mind you, I was running 2017 Recon spindles on my scythe because we bought it as a bare chassis. I changed over from my bent chassis to that. I did change some of the bearings when changing over, but you know what? Why don't I set the Recon spindles aside in case, you know, God forbid something happened at track, I bend a spindle, whatever might happen at track. So now I have those as backup. We bought brand new spindles, put those on the chassis just so we know, you know, rear axle bearings, rear axle has been replaced within the past year. Spindles have been replaced, all the bearings, all the way around. Was I ever concerned with the chassis being flexed out, even running UAS? No, I wasn't. Nor, you could think of it this way, that we are not as, because of our gobs of horsepower, we may flex the chassis more, but the chassis might not be as critical in what we do when you're running, you know, a clone, a predator, when you're running down south, when you're running on that hard pack, you know, dirt fault, they call it, the black line, the Maxxis tires punching 60, you know, just gobs and gobs of bite, to where the chassis is every corner just really, it's taking those G-forces and just heaving that left front forward. You know, you're preloaded with your high cross chassis, so it's like a teeter-totter, and you're getting on that right rear, you're picking up your left front. That chassis is occurring a lot of flex. So it's a very real thing. When you bend steel far enough, it will remain in that position. So it's not, you know, it's not a fable. It's not made up. Yes, something's, you know, the chassis flex out or fatigue does happen, but unless you're really concerned about, you know, fractions of a tenth of a, you know, your lap times type of thing, unless you're one of the very front dogs, you know, type of thing, to where their tire program alone, you know, per race is more than you've got invested into your Saturday night chassis, I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. There's a debate to be had. I want to make a video on that. Old chassis versus, you know, new chassis. You know, how much are you giving up on that older type of chassis, you know, performance-wise to the newer? Do I think it's the steel being bent out, or a design? You know, the modern designs are just made, you know, for ovals a little better than the old ones are. I have opinions on that, and I plan on doing that video sooner or later. But, you know, if you think your chassis is flexed out, if you think it is fatigued, try changing the components on your chassis. A lot of, you know, I know for instance, Phantom sells a kit that has the flex, the parts that need to be replaced as a kit. So you just take those off, you put fresh on, and then, you know, I would do that first. Before I'd run out and buy another $3,000 chassis, I would, you know, if you really think it's costing you that much speed, try that first. It's more inexpensive, and I'm willing to bet that's probably the bigger deal rather than the chassis actually being flexed out. So that's probably me double, tripling over saying the same thing. But anyway, I wanted to let you know this. Like I said, this is a viewer's idea. It's one of the ideas that I wanted to talk about, and that's kind of why I did that. Like, hey, man, just throw some ideas out, and when they line up perfectly, I'm like, I'm going to talk about that next week. Yeah. So again, I really do appreciate every single one of you coming out and watching these. I think it said I had like 175 uploads on this channel. And for you, you know, the people who have been here from the beginning, thank you very much. For anybody new, thank you very much. Without you, this isn't a channel. You know, I don't get to do this fun stuff. I don't get to talk about what I love, and I love racing, and I love racing karts, and I love helping people. Anybody that's met me at the track knows that you can come up to me, and I will do my best to point you in the right direction. I'm not always 100% right. You know, there are far smarter people out there than I, but I will never knowingly point you in the wrong direction. I will always try and help. Now, I'm not going to give you every speed secret I have. Some of those are for me. And if my competition knows my speed secrets, then they're going to be faster than me, and I can't have that at all. So, all right, guys, I really do appreciate you coming by, and we'll do another video next week. Maybe we'll do two. All right, catch you later.